Shalom, this is Shira Sherbo coming to you from Sfat Israel and Torah for the Nations. And I just wanted to recap. We've been doing a series on recognizing and knowing God. So we talked about how when you want to learn, you have to empty your cup and come like with a scout mentality. And then we also talked about the Hebrew letters and the Hebrew language, and how Hebrew is straight from God, just unlike any man-made alphabet, unlike any man-made language. So then we talked about different perspectives, two people looking at the very same thing. One sees a 6, one sees a 9. Okay, and then we were talking about what took place on Mount Sinai. A knowing took place, a marriage took place, and we talked about the instructions that God gave us were both written and oral, and how it's very hard to understand the written instructions sometimes when they're not explained. And so that is compared to a male and a female. You need both. The male brings the potential, and the female makes it relevant and shows, how to take like a blueprint and make it into an actual building, how to take the seed and make it grow. Okay, so now I want to talk about Moses and Mount Sinai, and how there's no way that you're going to recognize and know the one true God without being connected to Moses. So that's the sad thing that has happened 3,500 years after Mount Sinai. In my generation, I was told that everything that happened with Moses and that whole story on Mount Sinai was old and was replaced by something new, and that it really wasn't relevant to my life. And if that part of the Bible is called old and it's interpreted through Western eyes, you come up with a totally different God. So how are we going to recognize and know? Because in the end, every single person, every single creature who walks the earth will recognize and know. And the God of Israel will be the God of the whole world. But the only way for that to happen is for people to realize, and more people are realizing, that we were given the wisdom of God on Mount Sinai. We were given a spiritual inheritance. We were given instructions on how to live, on how to make this world a home for God, for this to be His kingdom, for Him to be the king in this kingdom, and for us to be able to create a society, the society that He wants, to create world peace. But we can't know Him and know how He thinks and know His wisdom and know who He truly is if we've been disconnected from Mount Sinai, because Mount Sinai is where the knowing took place, is where the oneness took place, is where the marriage took place. And so Moses represents that knowing, and Moses represents the oneness. So we are here at Torah for the Nations with helping people that want to reconnect, recover their lost inheritance. When you realize that you want to get reconnected to Moses, you want to get reconnected to the Hebrew words, everything that was given to us on Mount Sinai, there's no way you can pick up something like, especially the book of Leviticus, when it starts talking about the animal sacrifices. You will be amazed at what that really means, and how it is relevant to us, is relevant in this day. Because if you just read it, there's no way to understand it. It does seem old. It does seem like, oh, that was then, this is now. But God is timeless, and His words are timeless. And there was a people, the descendants of Moses, they were told, they were commanded, teach this to your children when you lay down and when you get up and when you go out and when you come in, and be a light to the nations. And their family has been preserved against all odds for such a time as this, because in the end, people were going to realize that they needed to know how to interpret the Torah through Hebrew eyes. And so we are here at Torah for the Nations for you to ask questions. If you want to recover your lost inheritance, that is what we're doing. So we'll help you know what your obligations are to the one true God, and just show you how to reconnect to everything that's been lost. So contact us. Torah for the Nations, we would love to talk to you.